Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dark and Rose here, and I'm back with another narration of A Beacon of Hope. Oh, okay, so you guys might hear me differently. I'm trying some new things out with my setup. I actually changed my audio software, so it's Audacity. Oh, Kitty, come on. He's always gonna fuck up my recording somehow. Anyways, I'm hoping this will actually sound better than how it was with Windows Voice Recorder, which was the thing I previously used because Windows 10. I used to use like a voice recorder that was already in the software. But thanks to Audacity, I think this might be a lot better now. Anyways, I'm hoping that some of you guys may have heard like the outro to the last narration. I did talk about creating a Patreon, and that's like an unsure sort of thing, so don't take it to heart yet. I just want opinions, feedback on it, and I just want to see if you guys are actually willing to support, if you guys are those kinds of people that want to do more than just like, favorite, and comments on my channel. Anyways, I think that's enough of me talking. I'm going to be narrating now. The announcement that, yeah, I'm totally going to be narrating now. It's dumb. Alright, here's chapter 53, an explanation and a Nexus farewell. This is in Blake's POV. Ooh, it sounds really mischievous. So evil. No, not really evil. I apologize. I need to put on some music in the background. I'm guessing that's completely, these are all Japanese. I don't have anything against Japanese music, but I wish I could read what it says. Alright, let's begin. I literally forgot to do Blake's POV. No, Blake's voice. Anyways, I guess I'll try it. I'll try my best. I'm Yang's girlfriend. I speak loud and clear, looking into the multicolored eyes of the cheetah faunus who must be none other than Yang's first love. I see. So you're the one who's dating my little sunflower. She grins at me, staring me down with her left eye, her right being colored by her autumn-colored hair. Her eyes appear to be extremely unique. The outer ring of her iris is a Halloween orange, but fades more towards yellow as it comes closer to the dark, tiny pupil. Being a cheetah faunus no doubt tributes to the predatory stare she is using on me. Sunflower, eh? Something I'll tease Yang with later. That would be correct. Except she isn't yours, I say, ready for what kind of reaction I may bring forth. Yang did say she is short-fused. I reach behind me and gently push Weiss aside, not wanting her to get caught up in what may happen. Oddly enough, the cheetah faunus chuckles briefly and smiles at me. You have guts, I'll give you that. Give me a reason why I shouldn't send you back into the next year with one punch. Her smile from earlier turns into a confident, challenging smirk, complemented by a hostile growling and a baring of her sharp canines. She's a tough talker. I wonder if Yang was always a tough talker too, or she picked it up from this one. That's easy, I smile. You didn't strike me when I announced I'm Yang's girlfriend. You either have no feelings for Yang anymore, which would make you striking me of no value. That, or you have feelings for Yang still and wish to stay in whatever good graces she may, or you may think she has you in. My answer leaves the same unamused look on her face, but I lower my hands and take on a neutral stance. She won't hit me. She can't afford to. The one thing I hate more than faunus haters are people who think they know me. You've never met me. You've never been in my shoes, within my mindset, within my life. The entire time she speaks, I notice the orange color in her eyes begin to take dominance over the yellow. What makes you think you know anything about me? Her last few words have a break in her voice, possibly having a bad memory or an emotional lapse from her own questions. Yang spoke of you in high regard in the laundromat. As a matter of fact, it brings me to a question I will prefer you answer willingly. I really do prefer you answer it willingly. And if I refuse to answer? Her smirk widens, challenging me, and it's a challenge I will not back away from. Then I won't hesitate to beat the answer out of you. My comeback is swift and brings her smirk down to a grin. However, it's your choice. She keeps her eyes on me, scanning my form until meeting my gaze once more. After a moment, her shoulders lower and she motions RWBY to pass by her without taking her eyes from me. I'll talk to you alone. We could chat in the gym. Her voice is much calmer. My eyes widen when I see her hand swiftly move towards Ruby's face while the little black and white haired girl walks by. But I relax when I see the large hand rest on Ruby's head and give the hair a little ruffle. When Ruby passes by me to reach Weiss, I give her my best smile and begin following the fondest girl into the gym. Surprisingly, she waits and holds the door until I place my hand on it, signaling I am behind her before she continues walking in and takes a seat on the closest bench. Shun Hitomi. Call me Shun, or Hito, she says, while I take a seat on the other side of the bench, keeping a bit of distance between us just to be cautious. Belladonna. Blake Belladonna. Just call me Blake. I respond to exhaust the formalities between us. Alright, Blake. She looks at me, then takes a deep breath and looks to the floor. What's the question? Why'd you break up with Yang? I ask in my flat tone. Her eyes widen upon hearing my question and turns her head to look at me in shock. The shock quickly turns to rage and she stands up, but before she walks away, I speak up. I did say I would beat it out of you if you refuse to answer. She looks at me and smirks before raising her voice and turning her head towards the ring. Bretton, clear the ring. Get me some tape. Challenger, have we? I hear a scratchy, excited voice shout in return, most likely from a middle-aged man. Let's make it an MMA match, I say to her, and she looks at me with a questionable expression. Why not a boxing match? You're not a boxer. You're a kickboxer. I'm not a boxer. I'm a Muay Thai fighter. Unless you feel like you'd be in a disadvantage if I can use my elbows and knees. I shrug my shoulders and sit back, waiting for Shun's openly displayed pride to get the better of her. Not a chance. MMA it is. Make sure Brandon wraps your elbows and knees up good, she says and walks to the ring. I stand up and follow her, looking at the large square with black ropes of brown canvas and a black skirt that reads breakneck bass. She hops onto the apron, then vaults over the top rope with a little effort. In one of the corners, the turnbuckle padding is blue, indicating one corner. Before going into the ring, I walk towards the corner diagonal from where she is and begin taking off my shoes, followed by my black vest, ultimately leaving me in my black and purple stockings, white shorts, and white sleeveless shirt. Not having my vest on makes me feel a little exposed since it doesn't cover my midriff. I climb onto the apron and duck inside between the first and second rope. It's not long before a tall, stocky guy comes on and begins to tape up her hands. I assume that to be Brandon. When he comes to me and does the same, I stop him and tell him to do my elbows and knees too. Heh. Muay Thai, huh? Don't hit Shun too much in the face already. It's one of the few things she has going good for her. He says loud enough for her to hear, but she snarls at him, making him laugh in return. I would say he is completely wrong in that regard. Shun has a chest that rivals Yang. To be quite honest, I would need him to be side by side to tell whose is larger. On top of that, she has shapely hips, and while I'm observing her after Brandon's witty remark, I realize that she is actually pretty attractive. Blake, don't do this right now. That doesn't mean I want her or anything, but I see the physical appeal Yang found in her. Although I am sure deep underneath the snarls, overconfidence, and whatever else she's been showing me, that there is a less sour side to her. Brand finishes with my elbows and knees pretty quickly. It makes the wrap extremely tight without needing to use me as leverage, which I appreciate since I am not so fond of someone touching my bare thighs. Yang is the exception. Alright, Blake, we'll do this for a round. Beat me on answer your question. We'll do this by one knockdown, tripping, and any judo throw crap is excluded. She leans against her corner while she explains, but I cut in to sum it up to speed up the process. If a punch, kick, elbow, or knee isn't what makes us fall, then it isn't counted. I get it. I roll my eyes, taking the time to stretch my arms and legs for a moment until I feel a weakness in my limbs, signaling they are loosened up enough. Alright, gals, you two ain't men, but I think a twat swat would hurt just as much. So nothing on the groin, no headbutts, and no hypnosis. Shun! The brand shouts from the other side of the ring, and my eyes widen at the fact that I could have easily lost through such a detail. Damn it, Brendan! Fine. I won't use my semblance. She can use hers, whatever it is. Shun sighs and steps away from her corner to enter a kickboxing stance. She keeps her right hand over her stomach and her left close to her face while she stands completely upright. It's an odd stance that I haven't seen much of, but based on her punch to Weiss and her tying left arm, I know that if there is anything to be wary of, it will be her left punch that appears to be pretty fast compared to most strikes. Alright, you two. Ready? Shun nods her head to Brandon. I pause a step forward, slowly lifting my hands up and keeping my fingers loose, bringing forth memories of my fight with Yang. My left leg is brought forward, the ball of my toes being the only thing to touch the ground while my right foot is firmly planted. I give my nod to Brandon, and he points to someone outside the ring. Seconds later, a bell is heard, and I am shown that Shun is the opposite of Yang in every way when it comes to fighting. She is fast as hell, while Yang is average with speed. Her punches don't do much damage at all. However, there is one thing her and Yang have in common, and practically mirror each other with this one commodity. They are both aggressive fighters. Upon the bell ringing, Shun wastes no time in running towards me, abandoning her form for a moment. Her punches come in quick, Sorry, guys. Her punches come in quick barrages. Her right jab's easily blocked, but every left punch she throws catches me. I begin focusing more on it and see the pure speed she packs. I'm not hurt by them, but the irritation of being hit by multiple shots begins to piss me off. I peek at her through my closed fists, holding them to keep guarding my face from her barrage of punches. I look into her eye, which appears to be scattering along my body, peppering my form with brief stares. Finally, her eye meets mine, and I see her left hand start to launch to right between my hands. I quickly close my guard, stopping the quick fist which comes in contact with my wrist, and a smile crosses my wrist. She's just like Yang in every way. She even looks where she's punching. Hunter never takes their eye off the prey. Perfect mentality for a predator. I decide to finally make my move and lift my left leg to throw a quick kick to her leading right foot. The impact brings her off balance as she jumps back to regain herself. No, you don't. Now it's my turn. I smirk, dashing straight towards her and follow her eyes to my right rib. I bring my right arm down to cover my torso and intercept a quick left body shot. I'll show you what happens when you underestimate me. I'm ducking towards my left while throwing an overhand right. The punch being blocked effortlessly, but at the same time I take full advantage of my semblance. I leave my clone out in that position, making her guard while I follow through with my ducking motion. The motion leaves me against the right side of her body. She can't see a thing on the right side of her thanks to her long bangs, and doesn't expect what is to come next since she thinks I am still in front of her. I jump into the air, seeing her throw a punch that makes my shadow clone disappear. I can't see her facial expression, but I am sure she is completely shocked at the sudden disappearance. Before she has a chance to recover, I place my hands on the other side of her head and tug her towards me. The move I used on Yang to send her flying being used again in a makeshift manner. As I tug her head down, I bring my right knee up to her temple with an echoing impact that sends the Talifons flying, and in a loud, clear voice, I announce my strike with a deep growl in my stomach. Fuck, I don't know if I could do that. Here's my, well, to explain, while I was out, I actually been practicing scream singing. So I've been kind of almost killing my voice during the week. So yeah. Anyways, I'll try. Kaloi! I spoke to myself. The firm impact disoriented her enough to make her hit the floor. I don't even think I said that right. It's one of my strongest moves, and yet again it proves to be as effective as I need it to be. I can hear a few chuckles and scoffs off at the side of the ring in amusement at the surprise strike, and when Shun turns her head to see me standing there with a smile on her face, she sighs and slides herself back towards the rope to sit up against. Serves me right for saying you can use your semblance. The fuck was that? Teleportation? She asked while I walk over and hold out my hand to her. Shadow clone. I slid into your blind spot after the punch, so you didn't see me. Should really tie your hair up. My common ears a laugh from her. Look at my eye for a moment. She moves her hair away from her right eye, letting me see it while she keeps her gaze away from me. The eye is a green color along the outer iris and fades to blue as it reaches her pupil, carrying a similar pattern to her left eye aside from the color difference. She places her hair back over her eye and looks at me with a chuckle. I use my right eye for my semblance. When someone looks into my right eye, I can make them see in triplets or hypnotize. I can control it most times, but when I get agitated in a fight, I use it out of frustration. She sighs, grabbing my hand, but instead of letting me pull her up, she pulls me down, catches me in her arms and sits me next to her against the rope. Warning would be nice, I scowl, but she only laughs and shakes her head. Anyway, a promise is a promise. I left her for 3 reasons, really, she begins. And before I can impatiently ask her what the reasons are, she lifts her hand up to stop me from speaking. First off, what did she tell you about me? Or rather, about her and I, how we used to be? She went everywhere with you. You went to all of her boxing matches, she went to all your track meets. Soon after you took, well, her, no need to say it, go on. You left her soon after, about the time of your graduation. I keep my voice low enough so anybody can hear us. Can't hear us. Alright, then you know everything there is from the onlooker's perspective. Look, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, but what I did was to benefit her, To say the least, there is nothing I wouldn't do to see that blonde beauty happy. But for that to happen, I need to break her heart. I need her to stop looking at me, stop wanting to be near me. To think I just wanted to take her for a ride. That's far from the truth. Shun looks blankly ahead, then at me. You're not making sense, I say flatly. Look, Yang is what, 17 now? I'm 20. Birthday passed recently. Do the math. I have been either 2 or 3 years older than her, yet I was only 1 grade ahead. Okay, you got left back. What does this have to do with what you did to her? I was getting to that. Can you shut it for a moment? She growls, and after exchanging stares with her, I sigh and nod my head. She's a bitch. Never took Signal serious, and to be quite honest, my grades reflected that. Only thing I really did with my heart into it was track and making my own weapon. I knew I wasn't going anywhere fancy, but I caught wind from Yang's uncle. The guy scares the shit out of me, by the way. He's far too relaxed. Anyway, I heard she had a chance of getting into Beacon, and I had no chance. So you break up with her so nothing keeps her from leaving Patch, I ask, and she nods her head slowly. Plus, I can't leave Patch at all, to be honest. I did some shitty things. Went into Vale one time. I met up with some people and, well, I thought they had the right idea, so I helped them out. Later, I found out the person they work for is just abusing their drive. The guy was a douche and a clear faunus hater, but the rest of them couldn't see that. As she speaks, I begin to worry. Her story slowly drives me closer and closer to a conclusion I hope is wrong. My senior year, I got in bad terms with the wrong. I got in the bad with the wrong group for a bit, caught up in all the fancy thoughts of being treated equal and being respected. It was all a downright lie. The whole group wants to eradicate humans. That's not what I want. I don't care how much I hate the discrimination. It ain't fucking right. I didn't want Yang to find that out. That was my second reason. She made the same mistake I did, but she realized it a lot sooner. When I get my hands on Tortrick, I'll make him pay. Don't you worry, I whispered to her. Her eyes go wide when I whisper that name. You're kidding me. You're... Beat me and I'll tell. I smirk, standing up and holding my hand out to her. This time she takes it and pulls herself up. Hey Brandon, turn the card! This is round 2. Shun shouts, walking back towards her corner while I walk to mine. The impatient man sounds the bell while we are both still settling, and out of reflex we both enter our stance. This time we take things slow, carefully approaching each other and being more cautious about what the other person is capable of. She turns her head more, making it so she can see more to her right and making it impossible for me to use my semblance in the same manner. Before our exchange can even begin, I hear someone hit the ground hard. I turn my head to see, but I don't even finish the motion before Yang sprints in through the bottom rope. My eyes widen when I see her, and Shun is in a similar state. Her eyes are as red as can be, and her hair is glowing. A bright glow that makes it somewhat painful in my eyes to look at her. Yang, we're just sparring. Nothing bad, I whispered to her. Lake's right, Sunflower. We were just sparring a bit. Nice seeing you again, by the way, Shun whispers after me. I don't want you two fighting. I don't want it, Yang says to the two of us. Shun and I both take careful steps towards Yang, doing our best to reassure and relax her. It takes like we get too close and she lets out a loud scream that pains my eardrums. Stay away from each other! Her voice makes me flinch and cover my ears. I reach a hand out to her, but before I can even touch her, I see her hair glow even brighter. I recognize the sharp spike in her hair and I try to tell her to stop, but her words are cut off when I feel the invisible force send me flying back, until my back hits the padded turnbuckle. But the force makes my vision blur and then fade black. Is she alright? Tell me she's alright. This is all my fault. Calm down, Yang. I'm sure if Shun's alright, then so is she. What's her name anyway? That's Blake. She's my girlfriend. Another one? How many has it been, Yang? She's the first one since I graduated from Signal. I'm serious about her. Should at least talk to her first. I mean, you'll be hit with something even more shocking later on. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, Dad. I groan, opening my eyes to see a slender man looking down at me. He has a clean Caesar haircut, blonde hair, and a thin line of facial hair that follows his jawline and connects to his sideburns. The blonde facial hair then goes around his lips in a well-done goatee. Blake! I hear Yang scream and come down next to me, peeking over the man's shoulder. Her eyes are back to their lovely lilac color, and at the same time I notice his eyes are the same exact color. Next time you're gonna explode, Yang. At least scream bonsai or something. The warning would be greatly appreciated. I sigh, carefully sitting up to see I'm still in the boxing ring, and Shun is straight ahead of me on the other side of the ring, smiling to see me up. Not the time for comedics, Blake. Anyway, this may be a bit of an odd time, but this is my dad. She smiles while I use my left hand to keep me seated up. I extend my right hand for a handshake. Well, pleasure to meet you then, Mr. Long. Or is it Mr. Xiao Long, I ask. He quickly grasps my hand and shakes it, although he has a rather unamused look on his face. Taiyang is fine. It's nice to meet you too, Miss Belladonna, but please, call me Blake if that's not a problem, I whisper, and he nods his head before standing up. Alright, well, that's 2 down. Let me get the rest of the gym up. I swear, Yang, you can never let me get a rest. He sighs and climbs out the ring. By the way, Yang, we were just sparring and... I know. Shun explained after she woke up. I'm sorry. And this time I do get to be sorry. She smiles. Did Shun tell you everything that happened? I ask, and Yang looks at me with a confused look. I thought so. I sigh, moving Shun over, and after giving me a quizzical expression, she comes over and kneels down to the other side of me. What's up? Yang, Shun still has feelings for you. She broke up with you so you wouldn't have anything holding you back from going to Beacon. She was also hiding the fact that she got mixed up in the same group I did. Yes, them. Also, on a completely different note, I will be calling you Sunflower from now on. I smile, although Yang and Shun both look at me with a shocked look. Dumbass! I already told her all that you noisy bit. She's my girlfriend. If you finish that sentence, I will punch you. Yang cuts in, and Shun bites her tongue to not finish the sentence. Why even go for an answer, Blake? It's my past. Nothing you need to worry about. You're wrong, Yang. I do need to worry. You at least have a chance to make amends with your past. I can't. Also, I expect Shun to give you a proper apology. Something nostalgic that I don't need to see while I walk outside to get some fresh air. I give the two a little wink and start to get up, but at the same time they both hold me down and shake their heads. Idiot, they say in sync. Blake, I'm not going to kiss my ex while you have your back turned, Yang says with a roll of her eyes. She may be my little sunflower, but I ain't got a chance. Actually, I do need to do this though. I watch Shun shoot her left hand out. I expect it to be a punch to Yang's jaw, but the swift hand touches the back of Yang's head, pulling my girlfriend in for a tight lip lock. Yang goes wide-eyed, and I can see her wind up her fist, which I quickly grasp and begin to chuckle. It's a farewell kiss, Yang. Just take it. She is one of the women you said you can still be affectionate with, right? With my words, Yang unclenches her fist and closes her eyes. I look away for a moment, and about 10 seconds later, I feel a tap to my shoulder. The quick touch is Shun and turn back to see she is already rolling out the ring. I find out you start slipping up, Blake. I'll be there to take her back. Her voice is back to the harsh tone she took with me when we first met, and she walks out the gym through the broken window. Blake, what's with you in getting me to kiss people? Yang asks herself, sitting herself next to me. Meh, I guess I like knowing that those kisses are pretty much the last those people will get. Especially since I can have one at any time I want. I smile at her and Yang gets where I am hinting at instantly. She wastes no time in leaning down and pressing her lips to mine. Although the moment our lips connect, we are interrupted by a firm voice. Hey, not in front of me, Yang. Get a motel. It's her dad. Yeah, he'll be like that until he warms up to you. Yang says with a smile on her face, then raises her voice. Sorry, Dad. He's like this with you. And you're almost 18. Have Weiss and Ruby said anything yet? I ask, looking around to see that neither of them are nearby. Nope, at least I don't think so. We should record that one, Yang grins, and show him the video of them making out from this morning, I add, making us exchanging a few laughs. We'll just sit here for a bit. I'm gonna go talk to Brandon now that Dad just got him up. Yang smiles and stands herself up before walking towards the ring ropes and hopping over them to land on the ground with a loud thud. Is it disturbing that those two are treating like this happens on a regular basis? Wait, does it? Good question, Blake. Oh, man. Pretty good chapter. I'm trying to add more emotion to my dialogue, but at the same time, it's like, I'm alone in the house. But at the same time, when I have to edit, it does kind of get annoying whenever I keep seeing those volume spikes, and decibel checking is already a pain in the ass. I mean, if you see the amount of splits I have in a video, there's just so many just for audio. And then I had to add in music, and then just change the length of some of them. Maybe even change the duration and tone of them. So it's pretty crazy. And maybe one day, maybe next narration, maybe a narration after that. I might actually start putting up fan art again. But I do need to find people. So if you guys actually do have some suggestions for fan artists, then don't hesitate to put it in the comments section. I know for sure that if I were to do it again, I would do Kuma from Taiwan once again. Just to get things back on track. Anyways, along with that, I guess I should continue this. I mean, I don't like to talk in between these things. Anyways, here's chapter 54. Yeah! This is going to be a short chapter, so if you guys are saying it's short, don't comment on it being short. The author knows it is, and I do know it is too, because I literally looked at the AN. Anyways, chapter 54, A Leader When Needed. This is in RWBY's POV. Yay! The little Rose's POV. Yang, how could all this happen? What were those two doing? I think to myself, awestruck at the massive body count of unconscious people. Jesus, body count. You're making it sound like they died more than they're conscious. I hear Weiss's footsteps coming up behind me, and that snaps me back into reality. There's work to be done, and right now there's only 3 of us to do it. Weiss! I say firmly and look over my shoulder at my girlfriend who just paused in place. Go to the laundromat, ask for Angelica. Tell her it's an emergency and RWBY sent you. Weiss stands there dumbfounded in my switch of tone. I yell for her to go again, and this time she takes off in the laundromat. Yank, get out the ring and start laying everyone on their back. She's still spaced out, unsure herself of what just happened. I run into the ring and place my hand on her shoulders. The contact makes her flinch and look down at me. Yank, please. I need you to get everyone on their back. I'll get Blake and Shun since they are in more manageable positions. But hurry. Yeah, no problem, sis. Yank shakes herself for a bit. For the first time now, she gazes around to see the approximate 15 people scattered throughout the gym in various awkward positions. Another tap to her shoulders and she slides out the ring to do as I asked. In the meantime, I'm careful to move Blake away from the corner of the ring and lay her down flat on her back with her arms at her sides. I see her chest moving and lips slightly parted from her breathing. I knew the entire time she was fine, but seeing that erases what minuscule amount of doubt and worry managed to manifest inside me. Next, I run the other side of the ring, not the entire side of the ring, and do the same for Shun. I fucking yawned. She's a lot heavier than Blake. To get her off, I need to hook my arms underneath hers and tug her off until I get enough space to lay her down. When I'm done, I look to see Yang is over halfway down and has been moving everyone she grabbed into an open space, so everybody's not that scattered apart. I take the time to slide out of the ring and go behind the front counter to get the first aid kit, in case it may be needed. When I get back towards the ring, I can see Angel jogging in, panting with Weiss not far behind and showing no signs of fatigue. It wasn't that far of a run, Weiss says to Angel, whose face gets red with embarrassment. She has never been outstanding when it came to athletics, but there was nobody in town with better aura control than her. I'm not good at running, okay? Angel looks around, mild shock on her face. Yang, you did it again? This is the 4th time. Sheesh. Angel sighs, and I am now the one left with shock on my face. Wait, this has happened before? Where was I ask, while Angel looks around until she spots Brandon and kneels at his side. I watch her place her hands over his forehead, and a green glow illuminating them. She holds still in deep focus for a full minute until Brandon begins to wince and rub his head, signaling he's awake. That's the 4th time, Yang! He shouts while rubbing his head. Angel keeping nearby to make sure everything is okay. Thanks, Yang. Get Shun next, and start working on the rest of them. While everything is going on, Yang mindlessly works on getting everyone else together before she steps back into the ring and lays Blake's head on her lap. She watches Angelica work on Shun and then roll out the ring to help everyone else. This is the 4th time Yang does this? Weiss asks, and I shrug my shoulders in response to her. I never knew she did it any of the other 3 times. I'm glad we got Angelica now, since it looks like she's done this a few times already. I knew she was a healer, but I didn't think she had active experience, I explained, but Weiss begins to laugh and shake her head, making me question her on why. Never seen you take charge so quickly. I swear, it was just like the time with that giant Nevermore during initiation. Weiss smiles and gives me a quick hug. You know when you had to take charge. Just like a proper leader. Her compliment makes me blush, but the little heartfelt moment doesn't last long. What the? Yang again? I can't get a single break, can I? I can't get a single break now, can I? The voice sighs, and when I turn my head, I get a cheek-to-cheek smile when I see the greatest healer I've come to know. Dad! I shout, sentencing to him, jumping into his arms. He catches me with a look of surprise while he walks into the ring. I look over towards the ring and see Yang and Shun are having what appears to be a serious conversation, so she hasn't noticed Dad at all. My dad's about 6'3", pretty close to matching heights with Uncle Crow. Although Uncle Crow is definitely taller, he's wearing a black leather jacket and black denim jeans. Almost the exact same outfit Uncle Crow was wearing when he came into the house. Nice to see you, RWBY. I hope this is the only trouble you've gotten into. It's only been 5 days since you've gone back to Patch, and Yang is already up to her hold antics. He sighs, dropping to a knee to let me down and ruffling my hair. His face is already pretty serious, but he can be just as relaxed as Uncle Crow, although he is far more serious when it comes to Yang and I. Dad's always been a bit overprotective, which is why I'm a bit nervous about telling him about me and Weiss. It would be easy for Yang to do it since, well, she used to switch so much, and when person is coming to visit again, she would say that she is dating someone else, and eventually became routine. Give her a break, Dad. You know you missed us making a bunch of noise in town. I smile and he lets off a soft chuckle while he slides into the ring, drawing Yang and Shun to look at them. Hey, Dad, Yang says, giggling nervously while she carefully puts Blake's head down onto the mat. Could you help her out? Naturally. And hello, Shun, my dad says while he kneels down next to Blake. Hey, Mr. Tai, nice seeing you again. She smiles, moving to the other side of the ring to finish their conversation. In the meantime, Angel's gotten someone else awake who looks around and sighs, muttering Yang's name under his breath. He seems like he has been part of one of Yang's previous explosions. I look around for Weiss and see she is now in the ring and speaking to my dad. I get super nosy and curious at what they were talking about and run into the ring to join them. I knew you were familiar, but I did not want to stare. I've had the pleasantries of dealing with your father in the past, my dad says. With all due respect, Mr. Xiao Long, I'm sure it was anything but pleasant. One rank of asshole, was he? Weiss's tone is harsh when she speaks of her dad, but still respectful while she talks to mine. A 5-star general, my dad says, and the two of them exchange a few giggles and smiles. I thought so. I apologize for that then. If you do not mind, I spent the night in your home and would enjoy doing so for a portion of the break, if that is not too much to ask. Weiss, you always seem to find the opportunity to make a good impression, don't you? Well, we do have an attic room that you can stay in, and forgive me for cutting you off, but Blake, Weiss gestures down to her, has been staying up there. She is Yang's partner. Weiss explains, and my dad nods while placing his left hand over Blake's right knee, his hand starting to glow an amber shade. I see. Well, the answer is yes, and I will work on the proper accommodations. He speaks in a neutral tone that matches how Weiss speaks when she is being formal. I would rather you not have to go through the troubles for me. I could just as easily find somewhere nearby to stay, or I can sleep in RWBY's sleeping bag again. Oh no, you don't! I shout and walk up to them. You already needed Yang to fix your back up from sleeping in it already. I'm not letting you do that again. I pout and my dad shakes his head and smiles. Well, my daughter is a pain to argue with. Both of them are. I wonder how her knee got bruised like this. Is she near a wall? My dad asks, more to himself than to us. But Shun, with her super sharp hearing, speaks up. Actually, we were sparring and she kneed the side of my head. She's a Muay Thai fighter, apparently, she says, and goes back to talking with Yang, who is actually shedding a few tears right now. But I turn my head away, figuring it would be an important conversation. While she is shedding her tears, she does not have a sad expression on her face. So, it is more of just something tear-jerking rather than something that is hurting her feelings. Shun did say that they weren't on the best of terms right now, but I hope it wasn't that bad. Alright, well, let me fix up the rest of her bruises before I wake her up. Sorry to say, but I need you two to leave. I'm poor at concentrating with people looking over my shoulder. My dad whispers to the both of us, and we quickly obey his request and slide out from the ring. Your sister is a firecracker. Oh, hold on. Your sister is a firecracker. I turn my head to see Brandon chuckling while he walks over to me and Weiss. Walking TNT is more like it. TNT. Ah! I'm gonna get a copyright infringement for this. Weiss counters, making him let out a firm laugh. Weiss has been on quite a streak, making my dad laugh, and now Brandon. Although Brandon doesn't need much coaxing to laugh. I suppose so. Name's Brandon, he says. extending his hand to Weiss, who shakes it while answering. Pleasure. I'm Weiss, RWBY's partner from Academy. Not from Academy. Not the store. You know, that sports store that people usually go to for some reason. RWBY's partner from Beacon. Oh. Would you happen to be from Atlas? He asks with a smirk, looking at me out the corner of his eye. Yes. You don't seem too familiar with me, so how did you know that? Weiss asked. If you are who I think you are, then a little birdie was gloating about her new girlfriend. Ben Vale and is from Atlas. He smirks. Weiss's eyes go wide and she looks at me with a bright blush on her face. Her embarrassed look turns to one of anger until she is visibly shaking and staring me down, making me feel smaller by the second. You dolt! Weiss screams, her eyes downcast, and I can't help but reach out to hug her. Unfortunately, she swipes my hands away and I sigh, not wanting to push things. Youngins are pretty funny, Bren begins. They appreciate being talked about, yet they get angry about it at the same time. Telling you now, Weiss, you're gonna become pretty popular around this gym. RWBY, you told your pops yet? Not yet. I will at home. So please don't say anything to anybody until we all leave, I plead. And Brandon nods his head. Or he cannot tell anybody at all, Weiss interrupts, but then sighs. Give me the hug I wanted earlier. I'm sorry, RWBY. Just a bit nervous how people look at me here. It's my first appearance on the island. Psh, Patch got the nicest people around, kid. Brandon chuckles, patting Weiss on the back. Blake! The three of us turn to the ring to see Blake lifting herself up to a sitting position, to sit with Yang right there. And Shun smiling from across the ring. Well, Team RWBY is back at full health. Hopefully we stay like that after I tell Dad about Weiss and I. Huh. It's a pretty good chapter. I'm like breezing through these freaking chapters. I'm serious right now. We're only like at 38 minutes. Alright. Shit, the yawning. I should have brought a water bottle. You know what? I should bring a water bottle. And I am back with what I wasn't supposed to be getting. So I ended up realizing that there's still strawberries and Cool Whip in my refrigerator. So I decided to grab it. I grabbed the whole entire fucking pack. I didn't put like a certain amount on a plate. So yeah, you guys might be hearing me eating some strawberries with Cool Whip. It's fucking delicious. I'm gonna eat up against the mic so that I make you guys feel hungry. That is so delicious. I apologize, by the way. Maybe I might make my narration longer just by doing this. Alright. Chapter 55. A change in schedule. Wait. Whipped cream. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. Time to be serious. Ah! I'm just kidding. That wasn't even how fucking loud I can get when I scream. Anyways, this is in Weiss's POV. Did I mention the title already, which is a change in schedule? Okay, just hoping. I tend to forget stuff in a few seconds for some reason, but it isn't like it's like a very rare occurrence, and I just had it happen to me. All right. Okay, Weiss, you do your job now, and it should make things easier when RWBY does her part. Deep breath, kind face, relaxed tone. Here we go. I nervously crawl into the boxing ring and step to the other side of Blake's unconscious form, where RWBY's dad begins to observe Blake's arms for injuries, I assume. Forgive my interruption. I thought it would be rude to not make a proper introduction. I'm RWBY's partner in Vale, Weiss. I wish the circumstances were a little kinder, I say, holding a smile the entire time. He looks up at me with what could be an angry, non-caring, or just a non-affected gaze. It soon turns into a smile and he extends his hand, which I quickly shake. I see. I'm RWBY and Yang's father, Taiyang Xiao Long. I knew you were familiar, but I did not want to stare. I've had the pleasantries of dealing with your father in the past. He keeps a smile on his face and remains looking into my eyes. Either he is just trying to be super polite, or he actually thinks my dad's presence is an honor. With all due respect, Mr. Xiao Long, I take a short breath. I'm sure it's anything but pleasant. What rank of asshole was he? I curse myself in my mind, realizing my tone took a slightly hostile turn, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by it. He is smiling, in fact. A 5-star general, he says. I return his smile for him and I begin exchanging giggles. He's laughing. That's good. I thought so. I apologize for that then. Okay, Wise, just gently bring up the fact that you stayed the night. Be courteous. If you do not mind, I spent the night in your home and would enjoy doing so for a portion of the break, if that's not too much to ask. Perfect. Well, we do have an attic room that you can stay in, and forgive me for cutting you off. Seriously, Weiss, stupid move. But Blake has been staying up there. She's Yang's partner. I watch him nod and begin to favor looking at Blake's right knee before he brings his hand down there. It begins to glow an amber color, and then he swings his attention back to me. I see. Well, the answer is yes, and I will work on the proper accommodations. He doesn't seem too pleased at the idea. I suppose I should just find a place in town. It would just be for a few days. And should he not be too keen on Ruby and I dating, then it would be a perfect way to keep my appearance around him scarce. I would rather you not have to go through the troubles for me. I could just as easily find somewhere nearby to stay, or I could sleep in Ruby's sleeping bag again, in the middle of the street after she tells you. Oh no, you don't! I look over Mr. Xiao Long's shoulder to see Ruby, who is walking over with a pouty face. You already needed Blake. Not Blake. You already need a Yang to fix your back up from sleeping in it already. I'm not letting you do that again. Ruby, you choose the worst times to interfere. A little sacrifice on my part is nothing to worry about if your dad will accept me. Well, my daughter is a pain to argue with. I look down at him to see a grin appear on his face, which turns into a sharp scoff. Both of them are. He then turns his attention to Blake. I wonder how her knee got bruised like this. Did she knee a wall? Actually, we were sparring and she kneed the side of my head. She's a Muay Thai fighter, apparently. I turn my head to see it's Stefanis that tried to punch me from earlier. I make it a point to stare her down, and when she meets my gaze, she shrugs and turns her attention back to Yang. Alright, well let me fix up the rest of her bruises before I wake her up. Sorry to say, but I need you two to leave. I'm poor at concentrating with people looking over my shoulder. Mr. Xiao Long says to the two of us. Ruby and I leave the ring without complaints. I am still a little mad at her for stepping into a conversation I believe was going really well, but not give her a warning or anything to what I was doing. So I suppose I can't get mad at her. Your sister's a firecracker. Ruby and I turn our heads to see a tall, well-built man walking towards us. Oh crap. Walking TNT is more like it, I remark, earning a heavy laugh from him. I suppose so. Name's Brandon. He extends his hand to me, and I reach out to grab it while I respond. Pleasure. I'm Weiss, Ruby's partner from Beacon. At my words, he raises an eyebrow and begins to question me a bit. Oh, would you happen to be from Atlas? Well, I'm a Shnee. Anyone who knows the company would know I'm from Atlas. I wonder how you know, though. Yes, I answer with a smile. You don't seem too familiar with me, so how did you know that? If you are who I think you are, then a little birdie was gloating about her new girlfriend. Men in Vale and is from Atlas. He smirks. Wait, he pieced that together that fast? He's quick-witted for sure. Wait, Ruby was already talking about a relationship? What if her dad found out? What if he already knows? I swear, Ruby, you think things through. You never think things through. I'm trying my hardest to get him to like me, and he may already hate me with a burning passion. I turn my gaze to Ruby. The look she returns lets me know I look anything but pleased at this moment. You don't? I scream and look down, trying to think of all the possible scenarios, but hoping that her father does not know anything about us yet. I literally just put anything to add some effect. Manipulating the story, that's terrible. It would make things a lot easier later on. I feel her arms begin to tighten around me, but I quickly pushed them away. She has no idea why I'm angry to begin with. Strawberries. Fucking strawberries. This is like, I'm gonna only have like 2 more strawberries and that's it. There's a bunch of tiny strawberries in here. You know what? I'll just have my last two, and then we'll do it. And then we'll just continue on for the rest of the time. I bet there's people out there that are really annoyed at me for doing this sort of stuff when it comes to just intermissions or in between stuff during narrations. I apologize, by the way. But if you don't mind it, let me know in the comments section. I'll take all the feedback I can get. Ruby must be all like, strawberries with whipped cream is delicious. And then you have Weiss that's just all like, you don't talk with your mouth open. What, don't talk with food in your mouth? Oh my god. That was terrible. With your mouth open. What is wrong with me? Oh, okay, I am back. Oh god. The food. Oh god, the food. Wow. Holy shit. I only have 8 hours worth of space left for recording. I guess that's because of my SSD. Right. Anyways, youngins are pretty funny. They appreciate being talked about, yet they get angry about it at the same time. Telling you now, Weiss, you're gonna become pretty popular around this gym. Ruby, you tell your pops yet? Bren asked, but this reassurance is something I do not need right now. Not yet. I will at home, so please don't say anything to anybody till we all leave, Ruby asked. Or he cannot tell anybody at all. I raise my head and interrupt. Me worrying this much is not helping my cause at all and will not change the situation. I realize this and sigh, giving Ruby the hug I shook off from her earlier. I'm sorry, Ruby. Just I've been nervous how people will look at me here. It's my first appearance on the island. It's a downright lie, but if I tell Ruby the real reason, she will feel bad. And I don't need that. I don't need that happening right now. Psh, Patch got the nicest people around, kid. I can hear Bran chuckling, and a heavy hand pat my back. That must be his. Oh my god. Suddenly we are interrupted by Yang Zod screaming up Blake's name. We all look to the ring to see Blake sitting up and rubbing her head. It is good to see she is perfectly fine, but I wonder how much commotion Mr. Xiao Long will make to finding out that Yang and Blake are going out. Well, it seems all the important people are awake. Let me go say hello to your father, Ruby. Brian walks away and intercepts Ruby's dad just when he is rolling out of the ring. I wonder if... Ruby begins, and before I can question her to finish the sentence, she grabs me by the arm and tugs me with her outside. I agree about the sight of a large black car with dark tinted windows. Far too dark to see anything inside. That can't be street legal, I comment. But Ruby ignores my comment and opens up the door at the driver's seat and gasps, Zwei! Zwei? I ask, and when I walk next to Ruby, I agree by 2 barks of an adorable black, brown, and white-colored Pembroke Welsh Corgi. He's my dog! Come here, buddy! Ruby shouts and Zwei jumps into Ruby's arms. Billy side up and looks at me with his dark gray eyes. Are you telling me that this mangy, drilling mutt... I look into his eyes more, and it becomes impossible to continue to sound dissatisfied. In truth, I love dogs. Is going to live with us forever? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh my god, I'm so terrible. I smile, and Ruby snickers at my baby talk, but I could care less. She was the only one to hear that. Zwei, did Dad give me a Christmas gift? Ruby asked. Ruby, I doubt that I am cut off by 2 barks from Zwei, who wiggles from Ruby's arms and hops onto the trunk of the car, petting down on it. Awesome! Thanks, Zwei! You didn't tell me a thing! Ruby giggles and Zwei hops down from the trunk. He then jumps right towards me. He is a really smart dog and measures things properly. All I need to do is extend my arms and he lands in them with a very gentle impact before rolling onto his back, so I can hold him the same way he was in Ruby's arms. He is just so cute, I smile, hugging him closer to me. Yep, Zwei's pretty awesome. Oh, should we get your sister's clothes? I ask. I'll do it. I turn my head to see Angelica walking by and going towards the laundromat. I usually do it for her as a favor, so no problem. She continues to walk, but is then interrupted by a bark from Zwei. Sorry. Hi, Zwei! She shouts back, and Zwei barks again before Angel continues to walk. Zwei seems to be popular, I say, reaching down to scratch his tummy. He is. Dad left him at Uncle Crow's house. Guess he remembered to go get him this time. Ruby smiles, but that statement doesn't sit well with me at all. Wait. Are you telling me your dad left your dog in your uncle's house for a day with nobody around? My eyes go wide-eyed for a moment. My eyes go wide for a moment at how irresponsible that is. Psst. Ruby giggles and shakes her head. No, silly. It was a week. What? Oh, relax. A girl leaves a little can opener so I can reach it. Wait, Ruby, what does that even... your family is so confusing. I sighed and feel a heavy hand on my left shoulder. Sorry about almost punching you. Hope to see you around. I turned my head to see Shun walking away, holding her hand up in a farewell while she walks and turns the corner to break sight with her. She seemed a lot happier than before. Ruby comments. I suppose. Anyway, should we go back inside? I think your dad may be done with things. Sure. I think you and I should start walking back after too. Not sure there's enough room in the back to fit the 4 of us in the car. I think we can. Just would need to have someone take a seat on the lap. Ruby says nonchalantly and walks into the gym while I follow. When we walk in, we see that everyone is almost awake. Mr. Xiao Long making quick work without any conversation going on near him. As he finishes the last person, he wipes the sweat off his forehead with the back of his hand. Yang, next time you do this, I am taking away your ammunition allowance, he says loud and clear while Yang drops her jaw in shock. But Blake is the one to cut in. You get an ammo allowance, Yang? I thought you used the prize money. Blake is cut off by a nudge from Yang. Oh, don't be that mean, Dad. Oh, Lee says hello, by the way. Yang does her best to change the topic, and it seems like her dad bites into it. Oh, how's he doing? He's good. He gave Ruby some free rounds for Crescent Rose, the armor-piercing rounds. Yang grins, and Mr. Xiao Long laughs. I haven't seen him in a while. Why don't you ever take me? Why won't you ever take me with you, Yang? Bleh. Bleh. Hold on, right. I haven't seen him in a while. Why would you ever take me with you, Yang? Ruby shouts, hurting my eardrum. But what makes me laugh is when Yang and her dad answer Ruby's question in perfect sync. That part of town is no place for you. Well, I interrupt before the conversation turns sour, and at the same time, Zoe wiggles out my arms. How about we get back to Blake? How about we get back so Blake and I can get to know Mr. Xiao Long better? Actually, that's a very nice idea. It's been an exhausting day for me. In the car, everyone, he says, and through a wordless communication, I can hear Ruby, Blake, and Yang all shout, Banzai! Which leaves me giving all of them a questioning look, and also exchange a stare of pure confusion with Ruby's dad. We all go to the car, and Yang is the first one to dash down in front of us, taking the chance to slide over the hood of the car and go into the shotgun seat. That leaves Blake to go into the car on the far side to sit behind Yang, and Ruby and I to figure out who will sit on the other's lap. I open the passenger door, expecting the car to be a little roomier so that I can just smush myself between Blake and Ruby. But the car is in fact pretty small, and to do that would make the short ride very uncomfortable. Okay, Ruby. Rock, paper, scissors for the chair. I look over my shoulder and she nods. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! We say in sync, patting our fists into our open palms in sync with the words. But at the last second, Ruby's semblance passed me, and when I turn around, she is sitting in a car with a smile on her face. I win! Ruby says with a triumphant smile, and I suppose I should have just taken the seat while I had the chance. I let out a sigh and carefully grab the back of the driver's seat while I lower myself onto Ruby's lap. Blushing a little at the slightly awkward position. Her dad doesn't seem fazed by this in the slightest, and instead shouts for Zwei again in the car. Who's Zwei? Blake asks, and her question gets answered when a little corgi runs towards me, hopping onto my lap and startling Blake into opening the door and rushing out of the car. Blake's scared of dogs? Ruby asks, looking at me, now at Yang, who is looking back at us and dying of laughter. Oh, this is priceless. My kitty cat's scared of a tiny corgi. This is golden. Alright, Zwei, up front with me. We'll let Blake get used to you and on her own pace. She then uses her voice for Blake to hear, who is standing near the trunk of the car now. Alright, Blake, he's sitting with me. Come back in. Well, Yang shouts at Blake as Zwei hops between a driver and passenger chair to go into Yang's lap. They're down towards where Yang's feet are while her dad gets into the car. And Blake comes in with a blush on her face. Please keep him away from my belongings, she whispers in a relaxed monotone, completely different from the earlier scaredy cat act she put on. Didn't think just because you were a cat honest you'd be scared of a dog. I'll keep him away from you, Blake, Mr. Xiao Long says and peeks over to Blake, who thankfully nods her head. When the car starts, there's some loud, pretty catchy music that fills the car while we pull off. I look over to Blake, who I believe is looking at me when in fact she is looking at Ruby, and nodding. What the hell are those two planning? I watch as Blake shifts more towards us, Place yourself between the two of us, and Yang, which puts her in the position to be a backseat driver. My eternal question is answered when I feel Ruby's left hand drift over my skirt, working its way down my outer thigh while I try to push it off me to no avail from the determined leader. The music is pretty loud, making my grunts of disapproval and demands for her to stop fall on deaf ears. What I thought of Ruby's wandering around had to be an attempt to go under my skirt. Eventually reveals itself to be just a caressing of my thigh over my skirt. I'm sure she exaggerated the first stroke to purposely mess with me. During the entire ride, I am subjected to her teasing touch, Blake peeking over every so often to snicker at my blushing, discomforted look. But it pays more attention to Taiyang and Yang to make sure neither of them look back. I have a princess in my lap, Ruby whispers into my ear before trapping it low between her teeth and tugging slightly. I have no idea what has gone into her all of a sudden, but I need to keep myself quiet. Normally I would be scolding her and making a big deal, but I can't consider it could draw but I can't be considering it or could draw the attention of her father away. And then it dawns on me. The exact reason she is doing this now is because we are in her father's blind spot, and this is the perfect solution for me not to be able to complain. When I get out of this car, Ruby Rose, you're a mincemeat! Another gentle tug makes my entire body shiver, and when a satisfied giggle, she does so again and again until I am reaching down to dig my nails into her skirt. She comes to a stop, and when I look ahead of us, I can see the house is not far off. The car is driven up to the driveway and is turned off while all of us begin to climb out. Blake is the first one out, clearly wanting to get herself away from Zwei. I'm the second to climb out, but once both my feet touch the ground and I stand up, I need to lean on the car for support. Ruby's teasing has me weaken the legs, and her father takes quick notice of it. You okay, Weiss? He asks, and I quickly nod while I think of an excuse. Car sick. I don't handle being in a car too well. I suppose I'm used to airships and roomy limos. I hate to use a rich girl excuse card, but it is the best and quickest thing that comes to mind, and chuckles in amusement to my answer. Understandable. Out of curiosity, how come you do not have your own driver here? This is just me making conversation. As he speaks, I see Ruby climbing out from the back seat, giving me a smile and wink while she walks into the house with Yang and Zwei, while Blake is already out of sight. Though I am not sure how she is going to get into the house. I prefer not to rely on my father's money. In fact, the money I do use is something I have in a side account that I allow to collect interest. My expenses have not made a dent in the SDC accounts, and I plan to keep it that way. Independent. Very good to hear. Speaking of which, you left these in the gym. He walks back into the car and hands me the cold cuts and sliced vegetables I bought for my salad. Wow! I completely forgot about those. Thank you! I exclaim, but when I reach to take them from him, he pulls them away from my reach. I'll carry them. Anyway, has Osmond been treating you girls well over there? He asks while we begin to walk to the house. Do you know Professor Osmond? And yes, he has. Well, Crow knows him better, but yes, I do. He is an old friend. I'm surprised he has not contacted me to say that my daughter will be partnered with you, although I suppose that is something too basic to spare a call for. The man never takes a rest, it seems. He pauses a moment to let me pass by and into the house before him. After going inside, I stand near the door, waiting for him to catch up and shut it before I continue. Oh yeah, I'm yawning again. If someone makes a yawning compilation to me, I'm going to get pissed. Well, I'll probably enjoy it too. I've always seen Professor Osmond to move from place to place very quickly and discreetly, but that is nothing compared to Dr. Hublik. Wait, funny looking guy, green hair, weird glasses, and his words always mesh together. I nod my head and Ruby's dad shakes his head with a smile on his face. Met him once, a while back when I had to go see Osmond for something. Needless to say, I couldn't keep up with the thing that man was saying. He was supposed to bring me to Osmond's office, but he just kept going so fast, and I was in no mood to chase after him. Eventually, I found my way there, and the first thing Osmond says to me is, Ubla Guy here before you. Guy can be sarcastic as hell when he wants to. We are in the kitchen now, and he's putting things I bought into the fridge. When he is done, we go into the living room to find Yang, Ruby, and Blake watching TV on the couch. Blake, how did you... I begin asking, but she cuts in almost immediately. Left the attic window open. Okay, so, Yang, now that I am in my recliner, what is this more shocking news you mentioned in the gym? I just see Mr. Xiao Long is sitting in the recliner and has it leaned back. He is still in his leather jacket, but the heavy clothing doesn't appear to bother him in the slightest. In fact, he appears to be much more comfortable. My only complaint can be the annoying sound of his leather jacket brushing over the leather recliner to create that annoying squeaky noise. Actually, it's Ruby that has to tell you, Yang says, and instantly I become aware of what was about to be said. So for my own safety, I move to the far side of the room next to the couch to put the rest of my team between myself and Ruby's father. Oh, well, it can't be that shocking then, he says nonchalantly. What's that supposed to mean? Yang interrupts with a question that goes unanswered. She folds her arms and falls back to slouch on the couch with a disapproving look on her face and muttering, I'm not that bad. Well, Ruby begins, looking towards the three of us for support. She is seated the closest to her dad, with Blake being in the middle and finally Yank being the closest to me. Ruby, I'm your father. I would expect you not to be so hesitant when telling me something. When have I ever been so non-understanding? He asks, and Ruby lowers her head in defeat. Never, Dad. It's just... She sighs. The conflict of how to say the next few words is written all over her face, and I feel compelled to be the one to cut him. Ruby, as long as you didn't commit a murder, I am sure whatever you tell me will not bother me in the slightest, her dad says, and for a moment, Ruby smiles, but still remains silent. Oh my god. I can already tell, this is like a build-up. If I may interrupt, I speak up and suddenly I have 4 pairs of eyes on me. Ruby is too nervous to say, more because of worrying of the resulting reaction, is that she has a girlfriend. Is that all? Ruby, you're making a big deal because you're finally dating? As long as you don't bring home some trashy guy which I've had to deal with far too many times courtesy of your sister, then I do not expect you to be this nervous. Your dad sits up in the chair, speaking louder than before, but not for being angry, or out of relief since the news is not what he expected it to be. Thanks, Dad! Yang shouts and groans for the comment that was clearly directed at her. Was a bit worried how you would react when I'm dating a girl, Ruby whispers, and it dawns on me that coming out the closet to a parent is possibly the hardest thing to do for some, especially for me with the way my parents are. But her dad is pretty understanding, so I am now wondering why she never did it before. Ruby Rose, do you expect the entire town to know you play for the other team and not expect your father to know? Brandon told me what happened with the boy who made the very rude comment. In fact, I was happy to know that him and the gym members were looking out for you. What I don't, she's 17, Dad. Ruby cuts in, and his expression turns a little more serious. You're dating a girl that's 2 years older than you? You ask. Well, 3 years after her birthday, but yeah. Ruby mutters, taking a deep breath while her father leans back into his recliner. I see. Well, I can't say I completely approve. I need to meet her, and I will be sure to give her a clear piece of my mind that I will be keeping a close eye on her. The last thing I need is someone 3 years older than my daughter trying to take advantage of her. I don't much like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that either. I'm nothing like that. She's nothing like that, Dad. Ruby defends, but her father shakes his head and looks at his daughter. How long have you and this girl been dating? Close to a month and a half now. And do you know anything of her past? How she grew up? For all you know, she could have grown up a criminal. She's not a criminal. Or possibly deceptive. She's not deceptive. Well, I need to meet her to know for myself. He slams his hand onto the arm of his chair, growing angry with Ruby's arguing. Ruby flinches at the sound and cowers against Blake. At the same time, I casually walk in front of Ruby, but keep my eyes on her dad, who is now looking at me since I moved away from my previous spot without any clear reason or motive. I assure you, I am not any of those things, Mr. Xiao Long. I say clearly, not breaking my gaze from him, even when his eyes go wide in realization to what I am saying. Are you telling me that you and my daughter? He questions in broken sentences, and I nod my head. I can't force you to approve of me, but I refuse to let my parents or her parents stop me from being at her side. Forgive me for putting it like that, but I simply will not accept that. And if that is a declaration of war in your eyes, then so be it. I keep my tone calm and respectful, and after I am done speaking, he slowly stands up from his recliner and walks towards me with a focused look in his eyes. Dad, what are you... I hold my hand out to Blake, stopping her mid-sentence and also stopping her from standing up from her seat. My eyes never leave his, and as he gets closer, I am forced to tilt my head back to follow his eyes while the height difference becomes more apparent between us. He is roughly about 2 feet away when he stops. Stops walking and looks down at me. I feel more at ease knowing my daughter is at least with someone responsible. However, I am more worried about your parents' reaction to all of this. His words shock me since he is putting my situation into his worries aside from his daughter dating me. Actually, I wanted Ruby to come with me to meet my parents halfway through the break, Naturally, Blake and Yang are invited. He nods his head and looks over towards the two of them. I see no problem with that, Blake says, earning a nod from him. Sure, why not? Can't wait to see the size of the I can't wait to see the size of the bathroom, Yang answers after Blake. Going to see matter, eh? I think I'll go with you four then. The voice is coming from the door, and when we all look, it is Mr. Crow standing there with a grin on his face. I haven't seen old Will in a while. Crow, the man is scared of you. Is it wise to go there? Wait, my dad is actually scared of someone? Hey, if I'm there, he won't badmouth my niece. I think it's perfect. Mr. Crow answers with a smirk. Besides, with the Vital Festival coming up after the girls go back to Beacon, I could train them until then. And that's not optional, ladies. Wait, what? We all shout in harmony, making Mr. Crow smirk even more. It's almost 3 p.m. Meet me outside in 1500, 30 hours, and we start. He disappears around the doorway, making his way into the kitchen. We all look at each other, then finally at Mr. Xiao Long, who shakes his head and sighs. I suggest you all get ready. Weiss, I would like to speak to you later about your current status with my daughter, but that is nothing to be rushed. RWBY's dad makes his way out of the living room and goes upstairs, leaving the four of us staring at each other what just happened. Uncle Crow, Yang begins, is going to train us? RWBY finishes. This will be awesome! The set just finished in sync. Alright guys, I think that sells it for this narration. The only reason why I stopped was because I actually tried to narrate the very beginning and I realized that I don't think I'm going to be able to... My throat is starting to get sore when I was trying to do it. And I realized that my voice will not go low. So I don't think I can do it. I'd rather at least keep the Crow impression up. Earlier... Anyway, here's chapter 56, Training Day 1. This is in Crow's POV, surprisingly. I don't even know how to do his accent still. I was kind of confused earlier, if you noticed. I stand outside the open field. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're doing this another time. Yeah. Jesus. But I don't think I could do that. So next narration, we'll say the training for the next narration, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been a while since I actually sat down and done a narration. I mean the narration I uploaded recently, that was actually recorded in January, so it took forever for me to get it up. And I apologize for that. Anyways, holy crap. So far in 2016, things are going pretty smoothly. I'm hoping to be able to finish this by summer. And just to let you guys know right now, I'm actually going to RTX with a couple of writers. If you guys actually know of the fanfic that I released known as Room 205, that is a collaboration between me, writers Noble Maida, Ghost Phoenix 113, Phoenix Commander, Angel 625, Burning Peace, Shadow Nightblade, Limo-302, and Silver Lining, along with Jeff Vardy, who recently joined. Holy crap, I think I actually labeled off everyone, I think. If I don't, then I apologize. It's a pretty fucking crazy sort of collaboration that we're doing. It's a collab between so many writers, and we have an editor too, who is really awesome. He's actually trying to write his first fanfic, and I cannot wait to read it myself because I am enjoying what he sends me. Also, I might take longer. I'm actually going to say this right now. I might take long to release the next narration because I have to work on a music video-esque sort of video for The Division, and it's not really like a serious thing. It's not me collaborating with Ubisoft. I'm not that popular, so whatever. It's something that I wanted to do, so it's going to take a while for me to do another narration. I mean, I'll probably have a narration, but I just won't be able to edit it until after I finish the video. So, yeah. So after this one, it's going to take a little bit of a while to get chapters 56 to hopefully 58 or 59 up. So, yeah. I'm hoping that I'll be able to narrate that much. Alright, so that pretty much sums it up. I hope I see you all later, and stay classy. By the way, I just want to know, oh fuck my voice. I just want to know how how the narration turned out. I want you guys to, just give me like an opinion of like, how do I sound? Do I sound well? Do I sound crappy? Did I do a good job on it? Do I do a bad job? I'm pretty much trying to take feedback from you guys so that I know like what to do and what not to do. So yeah, probably the strawberries thing is gonna be the most complained argument, but whatever. If it's not, then I'm surprised. Anyways, that's it. I am done here, and as always, stay classy. Rose out, and expect a Rose update video soon.